Okay, I got a few things I'd like to bring to the attention of those who are interested in information that is positive, perhaps inspirational. As many of us already know, as black people over here in the United States of America, we are far from where we ought to be as people. We have different ways to describe ourselves, but I think many of us in our own ways have an ideal about how out of step we are, how off course we are, and all the rest of it, okay? I write poetry to that effect, or to that degree. I refer to myself as a poet-therapist because I study the psychology behind what it is that's ailing us, that's causing us not to get ourselves together. I wrote a piece called Now. How we do each other is really dirty, and at times it's even scary. We blow our minds way too early with these attitudes we carry. The littlest things and we snap it, now we got a grudge. Most times based on crap we honestly misjudge. This is because ignorance rules the day, and we have yet to find our way. So let me say it this way. Due to foreign persuasion and a false sense of self, we oftentimes occasion being somebody else. We still insist on seeing through other people's eyes, while blindly set on being anything but wise. The bottom side of living, where others come to feast, praying and forgiving while flirting with the beast. In case these words confuse or come across too deep, it's up to us to choose to wake or stay asleep, to look inside our hearts and do our best to say, now is where we start, so let's begin today. Now, sometimes when I'm talking with different people, I like to bring out certain people that I refer to as master champions, some whom are elders and some whom are ancestors. And they left behind, or are presently, or are still active, certain legacies for us to study from that can perhaps assist us in our desire to go to a different place than what we are now. Like Dr. Ray Hagins, for example. His last name is spelled H-A-G-I-N-S. Brother Dr. Ray Hagins. He speaks on a multitude of subjects, and that's one thing I like about him. And if you listen to him, go out, Google him up on YouTube, you might find him interesting, especially if you're trying to free yourself, liberate your mind, okay? Because I tell you, many of us, seem like we just don't want to do nothing. We just want to stay right where we are. And I understand that to some degree, because when you have been programmed in a system all your life to attach yourself to certain belief systems, and then suddenly someone comes along and say, you know what, that's not quite right. Check out this. Many of us don't even want to hear it. I'm sorry about the interruption. I forgot to turn my phone off. As I was saying, but nevertheless, let me do another piece I wrote. It's called Let Us Free Ourselves. Unless our minds are free, we cannot be what we cannot see. So we must seek to search and unearth all manner of lies, whether taught or assumed, whether still in tune or in disguise. But especially, it seems, religious schemes that keep us blind, that hold us in check, that frequently wreck our freedom of mind. Again, unless our minds are free, we cannot be what we cannot see. So let facts and proof liberate the truth, expose what's hidden, beliefs conceals, of things forbidden, but knowledge reveals. So be not forsaken, the future will keep, if the day we awaken from yesterday's sleep. Okay? See, I know that when I think about some of the pieces I write, they come across in a very uncompromising way. And so, as a disclaimer, if anything I'm saying offends anyone, I'm not trying to do that. Hold it not against me. I'm just trying to put out what I consider information that's positive. And to the right people, or at least the ones that are interested in trying to further themselves with a better understanding, they may get something out of what I'm saying. I don't expect everybody to agree with me. Everybody have their own way of looking at things. I respect, or I try to respect, all people, regardless of what their positions are. From time to time, if allowed, I'll share some different pieces and speak on some of the people that I feel are worth checking out, like Dr. Sabi, the late Dr. Sabi. It's amazing. We lost him on August the 6th, 2016, under suspicious circumstances. Actually, the man was murdered. Okay, he was kidnapped from the airport for supposedly having too much money, even though he got $1 million business. And while he was in custody, he died of pneumonia. Okay? But he the same man that went before the New York Supreme Court in 1988 and proved that he cured AIDS, sickle cell anemia, every known disease to man, naturally. But we didn't know about it. We had Miss Oprah, who was hosting her show at that time. She never made no mention of it. Okay, yet she let this Caucasian guy come on there and embarrass her. I just mentioned that just to say this is how messed up we are as a people. I just gave that as an example. There's a lot of other so-called distinguished speakers. They made no mention of Dr. Sabi. Okay, why? I can understand the enemy culture, or the main part of it. Okay, because a lot of us have become a part of the enemy culture. We do ourselves more wrong than the original wrongdoers. Okay, but he was able to create compounds which are still available in Los Angeles. And if anyone cares to call the number, the area code is 310-838-2490. All right? Call that number, and any concern you may have, medically speaking, just express that to them, and they will guide you in what direction to go. And all those compounds are natural. I take some myself, the iron and so forth, and they work. All right. Let's see. We got Brother Claude Anderson. Okay. Beautiful brother. If you want to know about all of the different things that went down after those of us were brought over here, or whatever the case was, going all the way back 400 and 500 years, he can break it down to you. Dr. Claude Anderson, he's still with us, but we're losing a lot of our great people. Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, we lost her in January of, I think it was 2016. No, it wasn't 2016. I think it was 2015. I'm not sure about when we lost her, but it hasn't been but a few years. And she's the one that wrote the ISIS papers many years ago. But she was dedicated to the end. We also have Barbara Sizemore. She's no longer with us. We also have Dr. Delbert Blair, who was, he had a place right here in Chicago. Okay? Beautiful brother. And his legacy is still available. And I encourage you to check. His first name is spelled D-E-L-B-E-R-T. Delbert Blair, B-L-A-I-R-E. Okay, check it out. And I'm throwing these names out there because who better than the masters themselves could explain what I'm saying to you. I'm just a servant. I don't consider myself a master, all right? But I have no problem with that. I've never been the envious kind of person. I'm not got no time for that. If you're doing well, I'm happy for you, whether I like you or I don't like you. See, I'm saying this to say this also. There's a lot of pettiness that goes with us, and I'm going to do a piece to give you an idea. Why is it automatic, or so it seems, the slightest static, we go to extremes? Become estranged with that look and tone, and act deranged when it comes to our own. Or why are we so ready to turn on each other? Cock mood swings over petty things that make us so petty and down in the gutter. Could it be lack of unity? No sense of community? And the pressure it brings? Our failure to see it's not you, it's not me, but the system at large and the people in charge that's pulling our strings? Take a look at our faces and who's knocking on wood, because the average workplaces really mean us no good. Still, we love to perform and act the fool, argue up a storm and blow our cool. So we show our behind, become belligerent, loud and ignorant, and slam our own kind. Do we know it's wrong? Of course we do. But not getting along and being headstrong is nothing new. So why should we bother? Because it's smarter. That's why. Yet in too many cases, there we are, acting bizarre in each other's faces. Excuse me. Anyway, I hope that you got something out of that particular piece, you know, because that's, like I said, and a sample of what I mean when I say I look at the psychology behind the behavior, you know, that goes on with us. And I notice there's a certain thing that seems to be constantly coming up when I look at us, and it doesn't matter about our positions, our so-called titles, our salaries, or anything else. Okay, there's a certain pettiness about many of us that we need to get rid of in a hurry. Okay, we turn against each other for just about nothing. All right, but where we need to be focusing, we seem to have all kinds of excuses not to get involved, and that's so sad. All right, so okay, thank you for having me, and I've never done this kind of thing, so bear with me, okay? Don't be too hard on me.